This room is built to project absolute power. Every pillar and shadow is designed to make visitors feel small in the king's presence. Yet the king himself is looking at the portraits of his ancestors. He wants his children to look at these walls one day and see him among the greats, but he is haunted by how he will be portrayed. His concern is physical. The king has only one leg and one eye. He is a man caught between two worlds, the outward strength of a ruler and the deep, inward shame of his reflection. He wants a legacy, but he can't imagine a version of himself that is both honest and beautiful. He gathers the finest artists in the land, offering a reward that would change a person's life forever. But for the artists, the gold feels more like a death sentence. If they paint him exactly as he is, the king will be offended by his vulnerability. If they hide his features with a lie, he will see it as an insult. A fake portrait is just a reminder of what he's lost. One by one, the artists walk away, offering polite excuses to save their own lives. In the silence that follows, the king's wife watches her husband's hope disappear. The situation is a total deadlock. Any attempt to show the king's face seems to lead toward the same disastrous end. Then a young boy steps forward. In a voice that cuts through the tension of the hall, he tells the king he will paint the portrait. The court is horrified. They whisper that the boy is choosing his own execution, assuming his lack of experience will lead him right into the trap the masters were too smart to touch. The hall falls silent as the boy begins. He works for hours, his focus entirely on the canvas, while the king waits. The moment the boy finally turns the painting around is the point of no return. This is the moment where his strategy will either save him or cost him everything. The king looks at the image, and instead of calling for the guards, he laughs with genuine joy. He sees himself exactly as he's always wanted to be seen. The boy hasn't painted a static pose. He's painted a scene. The king sits sideways on a horse, aiming a bow at a distant target. This diagram shows the composition's cleverness. The horse naturally obscures the king's missing leg. The highlight shifts to his face, aiming down the arrow. Since archers close one eye to focus, the king's missing eye is no longer a flaw, it's a requirement. The boy stayed honest to the king's physical reality, while placing those features into a scene where they actually made sense. He changed the story surrounding the facts. He survived by realizing that while he couldn't change the man's body, he could change the environment to turn perceived weaknesses into necessary strengths. The master artists failed because they were looking at the king like a collection of broken parts. They saw a one-eyed king and couldn't see anything else. The boy's success came from a different starting point. He looked at the king and saw the pride and capability that the man still possessed. He chose to look past the scars to find the warrior underneath, and that choice dictated every brushstroke. It's a reminder that how we see others is rarely a neutral observation. It is a choice of where we decide to place our attention. We do this every day. We look at our partners, our friends, and our coworkers, and we make a judgment about who they are. It is very easy to spot the missing parts, the flaws, the mistakes, or the ways people don't measure up to our expectations. The challenge is to actively look for their horse and bow. Try to find the context where their quirks or their struggles aren't just things to be tolerated, but are the very things that make them effective. The most beautiful way to see the world isn't to ignore the truth, but to find the frame that shows people at their absolute best.